Welcome to the inaugural session of Lyceums, the newest educational initiative of the Center for Excellence in Education. CEE is gratified that there are nearly 550 individuals registered for this event. The center's focus has remained consistent since I assisted Admiral H.G. Rickover, the father of the nuclear-powered submarine and civilian uses of nuclear power, to found this organization. Excellence and meritocracy with academic achievement is championed for all students who are participating in CEE's program. Our mission is to nurture high school and university scholars to careers of excellence and leadership in science, technology, engineering, and math, and to encourage collaboration between and among scientific and technological leaders in the global community. The center sponsors 3 core programs, soon to be 4 with the Lyceums, for high school and university students and teachers. The Research Science Institute is collaboratively sponsored with MIT for 6 weeks each summer for approximately 80 students, 50 representing the US and 30 from the international community. The RSI is the first US research program for secondary school scholars. To date, there are over 3,000 RSI alumni who are exemplary in research, academics, at corporations, organizations, and governmental agencies. Leaders include Feng Zhang, developer of CRISPR, Ben Silverman, founder of Pinterest, and Fields medalist Terry Tao, a professor at UCLA. The Research Science Institute is nationally and internationally recognized as the most rigorous STEM program in the world. The USA Biology Olympiad brings together nearly 10,000 high school students annually to an online competition to test mastery of 7 biology-based subjects. An important partner to implement the competition is the organization, The Art of Problem Solving. The testing culminates in 20 student finalists who participate in intensive 2 weeks of theory and lab work, this year in person at Marymount University. A 4-member US team is named from the 20 finalists to compete in the international event. The center is proud that every US team member has medaled internationally since the US participation in the Olympiad. There are several years that the US was awarded #1 team in the world and top individual scorer. The Teacher Enrichment Program began in 2012 to narrow the STEM gap from among underrepresented populations. The program concentrates on opportunities for rural and urban teachers to broaden their STEM knowledge and network with science and technology leaders from corporations, academics, and government. Webinars, presentations, cutting-edge materials, videos, e-newsletters, and camaraderie are what make TEP unique. The program is so in demand and presently available in 12 states. Thousands of teachers and students to date have benefited from sessions for up to 50 teachers in each respective city. Also, a special summer mentorship program is held exclusively for alumni of CEE's programs, the RSI and the USA, by the Department of Defense and its research facilities. All CEE programs are free of cost to participants. CEE is funded by individuals, alumni of programs, corporations, organizations, and governmental agencies. The Lyceums are an important extension of the center's work to increase STEM careers, particularly from among less represented populations in STEM. I was recently asked, why the name Lyceum? Well, Lyceum is a Latin word from ancient Greek. It was the original school of Aristotle, where philosophy and important issues of the day were discussed. The Lyceums were for the training of leaders in arts and sciences. CEE's Lyceums will be the home of interdisciplinary STEM learning, blending the principles of the arts and core science subjects. Students and teachers will expand STEM understanding with exciting activities and unique components that our Laura Ashley Alegbailaya, manager of the program, will discuss with you. Today, I am honored to have three extraordinary speakers to introduce the center's educational work and the Lyceums. CEE is honored and privileged that Secretary of Education for the Commonwealth, Amy Rodstead-Guidera, has taken time from her busy schedule to be with us. It means so much, Amy, to have you here. She was appointed Secretary of Education by Governor Glenn Youngkin in December of 2021. She is a consultant and national expert on the use of data in educational policy. The Secretary served as the director of the Washington, D.C. office of the National Center for Educational Achievement. She was Vice President and Chief of Staff for the National Alliance of Business, worked within the Education Division of the National Governors Association's Centers for Best Practices, and taught for the Japanese Ministry of Education. Our secretary, of whom we are so proud to have, received her bachelor's degree from Princeton University's Woodrow Wilson School of Public and International Affairs, and she earned a master's degree in public policy from the Harvard Kennedy School of Government. Let us welcome Secretary Guidera.
Thanks, Joanne. Thanks so much for that welcome. And I'm so thrilled to be here today. This is just amazing to get to spend some time on the website and learning, and then hearing you give a wonderful overview just is inspiring. And I'm thrilled to be part of the introduction of the Lyceums. I love the whole concept. I love the idea of integrating science, technology, engineering, mathematics into the arts. And really what is so near and dear to my heart into this administration is the investment that you're making in Virginia students and Virginia teachers. I'm looking at the Capitol right now from my office, and we're having a conversation right now about how we have a record budget that invests in our teachers here in Virginia, because it matters so much. And I want to thank you and applaud the Center for Excellence in Education for investing in teachers as well. This governor talks a great deal about making sure that Virginia is the best place to live, to work, and to raise a family. And there's no way that we can do those three things without also making Virginia the best place to be educated. And we can't do that without having quality teachers and also incredible partners and advocates and leaders like you at the Center for Education, Excellence in Education. So thank you so very much for the leadership that you all are playing in this role. And, you know, a couple of data points I want to throw out there about and things that are near and dear to this administration and to me is your connection point and your mission of not only talking about investing in people and especially around these high in demand pieces, but also to make sure that it's being done in a collaborative way and partnering and ensuring that there's a link to the workplace. And so a couple of data points that I was looking at as I was thinking about the conversation today and the great work that you're doing. You know, and you all know this because you're doing this work and how it's so important with the Lyceums. But what matters so much as we think about making this the greatest place to live, work, and raise a family and to be educated is the fact that the skills that you all are investing in are the ones that are most in demand right now in the Commonwealth and also the future in terms of the growth of the workforce. So just a couple of quick data points. You know, we know that the skills in engineering, technology, math, and science, that these are skilled jobs that are increasing by 7% and 8.8%. So engineering technology is growing by 7%, science and mathematics by 8.8% in the next 10 years. And that outweighs and is faster than almost any other job that's growing in the Commonwealth. We also know that these are jobs that require a higher level of education and training and knowledge and competency. And by investing in educators and investing in students, you're ensuring that those students are on a pathway to make sure that doors are open to them to go on to higher levels of education. We know that in these arena, 8% have an education degree of college or associate, 47% bachelor degree, and 45% a graduate professional degree. And the fact that, again, you're investing in opening doorways and opening horizons to students to understand not only how fun and exciting the STEM study of STEM is, but also how exciting and door opening this entire career is, and the exciting things that are happening here in Virginia also in our space industry, in our maritime, in our maritime studies. There are just so many opportunities here in Virginia that are going to be dependent on providing, making sure that students are that have these skills and knowledge to make sure that they can take advantage of and be prepared for these new opportunities. And these are also great jobs. Just one last data point is we know that students that go into the engineering, technology, information technology occupations are earning $91,000 a year, which is, you know, double, more than double what the median income is. So this is a win-win-win. This is great for the Commonwealth. This is great for individual students, and it's great for educators, right? And what you're doing is investing in people to ensure that, we're opening doors to not just exciting topics and opening pathways that people are prepared for life, but we're also making sure that we're building communities and investing in our future, both economic development, attracting new employers, but also ensuring that we are investing in our own people here, especially in the areas that oftentimes have been underserved. And I really applaud you for looking at the rural, focusing on the rural and urban areas and making sure that we are providing these exceptional programs to those students and those educators who need it the most. And that's something that we will do a lot on in this administration, is use data to identify the students and the schools and the teachers who we have not been working with as much as we need to, and not ensuring that they get the services and the investments that they have, and making sure that we make those investments so that we are ensuring that all Virginians are prepared for success today and in the future. So I just want to applaud everything you're doing. I'm excited about it, and I'm excited to continue following the progress. And I look forward to hopefully getting to go to be part of some of these Lyceums. So I look forward to keeping in touch and learning from you as you invest in these incredible opportunities. So thank you so much for having me. And I look forward to hearing the other speakers. So thank you.
Thank you so much. And I would hope you have recently received a book of data that was prepared by a graduate of our Research Science Institute. The first year we held it in 1984. It is an incredible book filled with so much information. And I knew that it would be helpful since you are a data person.
And thank you for the inscription. It's right here. I've been reading budgets, but I look forward to reading this next. So thank you.
If you need to go to sleep, start reading it in bed. Thank you so much. Our next speaker is someone dear to my heart, who I've known for many years and watched the work he has done in education for less advantaged youth for many years in the Commonwealth. Gil Bland is president and CEO of the Urban League of Hampton Roads and founder and chairman of the Giljoy Group based in Virginia. Mr. Bland has been an owner-operator of restaurants for over 30 years and employed more than 2,000 team members annually. He is among the nation's largest African-American franchisees. Gil Bland has also served as chairman of the State Council of Higher Education for Virginia, Virginia African American Advisory Board, and the Eastern Virginia Medical School Advisory Committee. For the past 8 years, he has been chosen by Virginia's Business Magazine as one of the 50 most influential Virginians. Mr. Bland received a BS in Accounting and Economics from James Madison University and an MBA from Atlanta University. The center is so proud to have Gilbert T. Bland as a member of CEE's Board of Trustees. Gil, I turn it over to you. Thank you for taking time to be with us.
Thank you, Joanne.
I'm going to try to get that piece. I don't know if others of you have seen this thing on our screen in the middle of your head, Gil. So while you begin speaking, I'm going to see about what our technology people can do. So
Okay.
Please go on.
Well, thank you, Joanne. What a privilege to join with the team of panelists as well as Secretary of Education. It's a real opportunity for me to share some thoughts. My background, as Joanne broadly alluded to, is as a business person. I have been a owner of multiple businesses and an employer of a number of folks for 3 decades. I currently serve on Executive Council of the State Chamber of Commerce, where I have opportunity to work with business leaders across Virginia on a continual basis. But more importantly, in later years, I have always attempted to be involved in civic activities and a civic leader, if you will. But I decided to volunteer efforts with the Urban League of Hampton Roads. And Urban League is a civil rights organization dedicated to affording better opportunities to people in disadvantaged communities, particularly Black residents. And in Hampton Roads, we are the 14th largest Black community in the nation, well over 550,000 Black citizens. And a cohort of that size also, unfortunately, comes with a number of challenges. And education, I believe, at least in my own case, was the gateway to a better opportunity. And I continue to preach that. And I've done it most of my life in a very broad sense, get certifications, get licensing, get a higher education, and it will prepare you for the future in terms of being a contributing citizen, in terms of appreciating your community, in terms of giving back, and also to make a better living than your peers and students who don't pursue that route. But working with Joanne and also in the health field, I'm on the board of the largest healthcare organization in Virginia, Centera Healthcare. It has become increasingly clear to me the value of STEM education. And in an aging population, we need our young folks, particularly in disadvantaged communities, because it's also a growing demographic shift in the Commonwealth as well as the nation of more and more Black and brown residents. We need these students to be prepared to contribute in STEM careers. And frankly, even in technological evolving industries, STEM touches everything. I mean, there was a time when folks could come out of high school and be a mechanic in an automobile. Well, that goes away when all you have is a battery in a car, and additions can be downloaded. So I am an unabashed advocate, and I will be vocal and as strong as I can to encourage a STEM education. It's a wonderful opportunity to build a career that touches upon so many necessary attributes in our communities. So I will simply say, and we'll be happy to answer any questions, but it is a privilege to join in the voices encouraging STEM education. And frankly, I don't think anyone does it any better than the Center for Excellence in Education. The RSI program is a proven wonderful opportunity for very special students. And these new programs, Lyceum in particular, are an opportunity to expand that pool of candidates who can be exposed to these opportunities and continue to grow their careers and their contributions in life. So thank you for this opportunity, and I wish you all very well.
Thank you so much, Gil. Now I'm going to turn this over to our manager of the new Lyceums program, Laura Ashley.
Thank
Laura?
you, Joanne. Thank you. Hi, everybody. As Joanne said, I am Laura Ashley Lecboleye. I am the program manager for STEM Lyceum. I would like to take this time to introduce our next speaker, Isabel Gallegos. She is a senior at Stanford University studying computer science with a focus on artificial intelligence and a minor in education. After her first exposure to research during the 2017 Research Science Institute, she now conducts research in the Stanford Laboratory of Quantitative Imaging and Artificial Intelligence, where she works on multimodal, multitask machine learning models to predict disease diagnoses. After she completes her undergrad studies, she hopes to pursue a PhD in computer science. Thank you again for joining us, Isabel, and we look forward to hearing you speak.
Hi, thank you for the introduction. As Laura Ashley said, my name is Isabel Gallegos. I'm from Albuquerque, New Mexico, and I attended the Research Science Institute in 2017, which was the summer before my senior year of high school. I'm now a senior at Stanford studying computer science, and I think I can trace a lot of what I do now, the research I do, the kind of passion I have for computer science back to my experiences through RSI and CEE. So Joanne introduced the RSI program, but it's a separate program run by CEE. I knew I was interested in STEM during high school. I really liked my math and science classes, but I didn't have much exposure outside of just the classroom experience. And so RSI provided me my first real exposure to research. Coming into the program, I didn't even really know what research was, but in 6 weeks, they basically took me through the entire process from start to finish, kind of in a super sped up way, where we start with a research problem, run some experiments, write a technical paper, and do a presentation at the end. So I think coming into the program, because I didn't have really much outside experience outside of just kind of like classroom knowledge, I was pretty overwhelmed at the start of the program. I was worried I didn't know enough, I didn't have enough experience, and I just had a lot of feelings of self-doubt.
Here's what I found.
And I think that some of these feelings aren't necessarily uncommon, especially for like maybe if you're like underrepresented in tech, that these are common experiences to feel. But I think once I was able to kind of let go of some of that self-doubt, I think RSI became a really amazing learning opportunity for me. I think first, technically, I think being in high school and like just that period of my life was a really exciting time to explore and think about what interested me and what excited me, what problems I was interested in solving. And I think that the RSI program really gave me a really unique opportunity to just be kind of like guided by my curiosity. And it was just a time for exploration. I think another amazing thing that came out of the program was the community. So I think one is the institutional support that CEE provides. I think CEE is really invested in student success. And especially in this period of my time when I was thinking about college and starting to apply, I think it meant a lot to have this community to fall back on, who I know were really backing my aspirations. I think also I gained mentors through the program. I was basically paired with a project, and the people I met through that were really amazing resources. I could talk to them and ask them questions. And I think I wish I would have asked more questions almost, because I think the people who are there to support you really are really invested in your learning, and I really felt that. And then I think the last component that was really important to me was the network of peers that I gained. I go to school with some of them now. A lot of the community has stayed connected over like social media, or people will meet up. And I think that it's really special to be part of a community who has similar goals. We're all in the same stage of figuring out what we wanted to do after high school. And for that, excuse me, that was a really unique experience for me. So I think like my biggest takeaways was, I think that RSI kind of single-handedly nurtured my interest in computer science and research and really set me on the pathway that I am now. But I think perhaps more than that, I think they really helped me understand what I was capable of. I mentioned earlier, I experienced a lot of like self-doubt, and even to this day, sometimes I question my belonging in STEM or if I'm capable. And I think I can always just go back to the experience I had at RSI. I can always turn to the network of support that I have, the mentors, the peers, CEE. And I think I can also just center myself back on the learning and growth that CEE really emphasizes. The excitement about the process, like why I'm passionate about research. I can always go back to that. And so I think the biggest lesson for me is that my journey in STEM is my own, and I think that applies to especially the students on this call, that your journey is really your own. I think everyone in the program started out in different places, but I think we all grew in our own way. I think for me, technically, I learned a lot, but I also learned like how to ask questions. For me, it was my first time living away from home, so that was a really big learning experience. And I think kind of the most important thing is just like being able to learn and grow. It's not about like where you end up or where you start, but just like how you're able to learn from this experience and develop your own pathway and interest. So I'm so grateful for RSI and CE and for the support they've provided.
Wonderful.
Thank you so much, Isabel. Thank you.
Laura, herself an engineer, well understands this path with research that, as the center's president, I applaud the efforts at Virginia Now lab schools, research, where a student is allowed to flap his or her wings, to be creative, to be different in an approach to a problem. So Isabel, you said it well. Thank you so very much. And now, Laura, I turn it over to you again for your presentation.
Yes, thank you, Joanne. So right now I'm going to talk all about STEM Lyceums, which is why most of you are here. Once again, my name is Laura Ashley Alekbaleye. I am the program manager for STEM Lyceums. And so up here you see our mission. We have a very broad mission, but it's essentially to engage high school students with STEM professionals, and through that engagement, students are able to explore STEM careers, STEM concepts, and yeah, as Isabel touched on earlier, start to create your own STEM journey, right? Because it's unique to everybody. So we hope to increase students' accessibility to scientific information, once again, through that direct interaction with STEM professionals. We hope to foster a greater understanding of the interdisciplinary nature of STEM, and also encourage an understanding of all the different things that STEM means. And lastly, we hope to prepare students for entering a STEM career by once again introducing students to all different types of STEM careers through that engagement with STEM professionals.
Is this the only slide? There we go.
Okay, so on this slide here, you see our upcoming spring 2022 schedule. This is also on our website. STEM Lyceums at this time occurs monthly, and it is in a virtual format via Zoom. Each session is an hour long, and as you can see on the schedule, every single STEM Lyceums event has a specific and different theme, right? So for our March event, we have genomics. I'll talk more about that later. For our April event, to correspond with Earth Day, we have clean and renewable energy as a topic. For our May event, we have nuclear engineering as a topic. And for our June event, we have the Internet of Things in healthcare as our topic. You can look forward to different STEM topics in the fall, our next iteration of STEM Lyceums. And as you can see, the structure, we have different STEM professionals in careers related to that theme speaking at these events. So you'll get a chance when you attend to hear about these STEM professionals' STEM journeys, which is different for everyone in STEM. You'll get an opportunity to learn about what STEM skills they utilize in their own career. You'll get an opportunity to learn about what majors can lead to these types of careers, and really just ask them questions if you have any, you know, just in terms of relating to your own journey. What are the benefits for attending STEM Lyceums? We are working with Repicture Engineering, and they have their own STEM enrichment summer program. And at this time, they are offering 2 scholarships for STEM Lyceum students. So if you attend our STEM Lyceum events, you can learn more about these scholarships. And really, it's a great opportunity to build on that STEM enrichment beyond the school year into the summer. And also, beyond the themes or the thematic STEM Lyceum events that we have, we will also be providing future hands-on STEM activities, whether that is virtual or in person. We'll be providing STEM resources to STEM Lyceum students. And we also are in the process of organizing college access assistance for STEM Lyceum students, which involve college admissions advice, scholarships that STEM Lyceum students can have access to, also financial aid advice for our STEM Lyceum students. So if you attend STEM Lyceum's events, you can get more information about these great opportunities. And as mentioned earlier, if you have not already yet, please do register for our upcoming STEM Lyceum's event in March. We have 2 wonderful STEM professionals speaking to us about their STEM journey to their careers in genomics. We have Dr. Janina Jeff, who is, she is a scientist at Illumina. More specifically, she's a staff bioinformatics scientist. And she also is a creator of her own podcast called In Those Genes. Not genes like the jeans you wear, but the pun on genes, right, and genetics. And we also have Dr. Tashaka Cunningham, who is a co-founder and chief scientific officer at Polaris Genomics. And they honestly do really great work. So right now, that is our highest event for all of our STEM Lyceum event in terms of registrants that we have. So once again, if you haven't already yet, please do register. You can register on the link on our website, and we'll also include that link in the chat. Right, so that is March 22nd, next month. All of our events are from 5 to 6 Eastern Standard Time. So hopefully you can make it for those events. All right, so at this time, I'm going to open up questions and answers. I can see that we've had some people asking some questions in the chat or in the questions and answer function here in Zoom. So I'm just going to go through them, and I'm going to read out the question, and then I will answer. And if you have any questions, feel free to continue to add them. And then if your question's not answered, you can send me an email and I'll answer it. I'll put my email address up at the end. Okay, so the first question is, where can we sign up for CEE classes? So we do not have classes per se, but for all of our events, our CEE events and programs, you can sign up on our website, cee.org. And they have information about all of our programs, details about registration, details about the dates. So hopefully that answers your question. Okay, next question is CEE just for Virginia, or is it for other states too? So CEE has 4 programs at this time. We have RSI, we have TEP, Teacher Enrichment Program, we have USABO, US Biolympiad, that's what it stands for, and our new STEM Lyceum. While STEM Lyceum specifically is advertised for Virginia high school students, we have many students who are out of state and even international students who have registered for this program. Really due to the virtual nature of STEM Lyceum, anybody is open to attend. However, just keeping in mind that it's in Eastern Standard Time, so the time zone might be an issue for you, but maybe you can be able to work around that. Our other programs, RSI, is available for Virginia students and for out-of-state students and for international students. USABO is available for, I believe, international and all students, international and domestic. And TEP is for teachers, not students. So, well, it helps students, but the target audience is for teachers. The next question.
You might say that Lyceums the Lyceum initiation is for Virginia students at this time. Our partners for the Lyceums were very excited. Virginia Bio, which is a consortium of corporations and organizations championing the pharmaceutical biotech industries. And our other 2 partners are United Negro College Fund and Hampton Roads Urban League. We also, just a hint, but Gil Bland and I are working and speaking to Virginia Tech, where we may do a future collaboration with some of their programs. But we plan to take the Lyceums, like TEP, like the Teacher Enrichment Program, across the country. The Teacher Enrichment Program is currently in 12 states. Lyceums, we're not sure where it will go, first, second, third. It will be to the states where we have the Teacher Enrichment Program. But we want to make sure that it's ready to go forward. And it's first and foremost for students and teachers in Virginia.
So the opportunities that we have, we're building for STEM Lyceums will be for Virginia students, but all students are able to access that content that we will have available in the webinars. So I do hope that answers your question. Okay, are there government programs that schools should be aware of that can empower STEM teachers at the local level? Do you want to touch on that, Joanne?
Of course there are. It's just, to be very honest, the websites for governmental agencies are not as user-friendly as they should be. We promote governmental programs that we have assessed and know what they're doing. Of course, there are many out there of which we're not aware, but the main bigger ones of the National Science Foundation, NASA, Department of Education, and DOD, of course, we are aware. There are directories online of programs too, that students and teachers should access. Madam Secretary or Gil, maybe you also want to elaborate on opportunities for information that the Commonwealth has, and Gil, you know about.
I'll go really quickly, and because I don't know much at this point, I'm still learning, but I know on the Virginia Department of Education website, we have a whole section on STEM. I would encourage people to go there to look for resources, and we're also trying to make sure that it's easier to find things. There's some terrific programs in place, and yet it's really, really hard to sometimes find the gem that you're looking for on the website. So we're actually going to be redoing lots of the websites just to make sure it's easier to find answers to questions like this one. Thank you for putting it up, Michelle. So you have that. So keep checking back. We're going to try to make it easier, but Gil, you may have more specific answers.
Well, to speak more specifically about Chev, where we focus specifically on the institutions of higher learning, both the public schools and the independent colleges, and there is a wealth of data, more than you could ever attempt to digest on the higher education system as a whole, as well as each college in Virginia, including the community colleges, and they even provide longitudinal data on salaries. So there's a wealth of opportunity, not necessarily descriptive about the careers per se, but on what each of our fine higher ed institutions provide.
Thank you. What can high school senior students get from this program? Any recommendations? I think that it is a great opportunity for students, high school students, seniors included, to begin thinking once again about those STEM skills that they can build on, what possible STEM careers, STEM majors there are out there, and really once again that engagement with STEM professionals, being able to ask them questions, get a little bit help on your own personal STEM journey. More specifically for that college application aspect that I talked about earlier, we are working with Virginia institutions and their admissions offices, departments to set up, I guess, webinars or programs for our own STEM Lyceum, so we can send that information or share that information, that advice with STEM Lyceum students on college admissions, like I said, financial aid, and those kinds of college access subjects. I hope that answers.
So I would add to that. You know, you kind of asked the broad question, what's in it for the student? One of the exciting initiatives being developed now is a collaboration between the State Chamber of Commerce and the State Council of Higher Education, known as Chev, and that is to have an internship opportunity for all college students. So for those of you who are students considering STEM fields, you will have opportunity early in your college career to actually work with a corporation and do meaningful tasks, not busy work, but meaningful tasks to further orient you to careers in STEM and what it means. And for the business community, they love this opportunity to provide this opportunity because it makes you a better employee ready to hit the ground upon graduation. So it's a wonderful collaboration. I would also add, I'm sure many read about Amazon choosing the Commonwealth of Virginia for its second headquarters, and that's up in the Northern Virginia marketplace. But in part, many attribute that selection to our universities of higher education in Virginia, and particularly in the STEM field. So there are some of our well-known public institutions are building campuses or expanding existing offerings in the STEM fields to meet the demand for workers, anticipated workers.
I'll just add on quickly to that, onto the wonderful internship program that Gil just mentioned. This is something that's really exciting. I get to work with all the presidents, and this is something that they're thrilled about. It's actually one of the first things that all of the public university and colleges and community colleges presidents have worked together on to sponsor this internship program. And there's just a lot of excitement, both in the Capitol, as Gil said, with industry and also with higher ed. And what's also exciting, just to give another data point, I was talking to some of our aviation leaders a couple of weeks ago, and they kept talking about the power of internships for creating pathways for students, but they also gave an incredible number. They said at one of the organizations that they hire, that 20% of their employees are hired through internships. So think about that. That's an amazing pathway into a field of having that experience of exposure. And then it is the launching pad for a career in some really great organizations here in Virginia too. And the other thing I'll just say in terms of exposure and ideas, many of you may have been hearing that in Virginia, one of the items again that's being debated at the Capitol today is the creation of college partnership lab schools, which is all about partnering between higher education, employers, organizations like the Center for Excellence in Education and school divisions about how do you create some innovative ways to ensure that in our K-12 system, we're bringing in lots of great innovations and ways to make learning come alive and teaching to come alive and to benefit from the partnerships that are represented on the call today. So it really encouraged lots of the educators on the call and administrators that are in school divisions or in institutions of higher education to look into this. We're hoping that we'll have that. We're going to have hopefully $150 million in startup costs to help fuel this innovation. And this is another way that how do we start building more and allow the partnership that's so evident in the center's work to also really benefit our K-12 students as well. So just keep your eye on that, and we're happy to answer more questions, but there'll be more information on that on the Department of Education's website and on SHEV's website as we move forward.
And just to amplify and also put on my regional hat, because I'm a Hampton Roads resident and love Hampton Roads, we have some wonderful opportunities with organizations. We have a company that builds nuclear submarines and ships that travel around the coast of the world. We have NASA. We over on the eastern shore of Virginia, we are sending rockets into outer space. So, as well as all of our wonderful healthcare organizations. So the opportunities are abundant.
Isabel, did you wish to add something? When a student said, what could they get out of a program for from CEE?
I think for me, the biggest thing was just exposure. I think looking at the list of talks that are coming up, I think that those are just amazing like opportunities to learn more about what's even out there. So I think that's the only thing I would add onto this.
Thank you.
Thank you, Isabel. The next question is actually for you, Isabel. I'll try to condense it. From one of our registrants or attendees, they said they also attended a male breast cancer machine learning model application research in summer. What models did you practice within that program? It's a lot of questions. So maybe I will recommend seeing if Isabel is open to providing her contact information and answering all of these very engineering or computer science specific questions, but I'll try to wrap it up. I'll just go to the end, but it says, what is your insight in a future CS career? And because they are confused what research fields they should go into with a CS degree. So I guess, what is your insight in the future of computer science?
I think computer science is really exciting because it's so broad and there's so many different applications. I think I didn't really figure out what field I was interested in until I got to college. And so I think that's not something that you have to figure out now. And I think as you just like talk to people and you can, like, I don't know, I feel like this type of program is perfect for seeing like the different areas that are available. Even if you're really interested, like maybe reading some papers or something. I think the more information you can just gather, I think will help you inform like what really speaks to you. But I didn't really figure that out until during my time in college. So I think there's no rush to really solidify or finalize like your interest now.
Thank you, Isabel. So I will try to condense the next two questions so we can wrap up in the next couple of minutes. But the next question I'm going to answer too, it says, what are the requirements to apply to STEM Lyceums? Can rising 10th grade students apply? And then also, where will the links be for the STEM Lyceums lecture? So to answer the first question, there is really just be a high school student, be interested in STEM, or really just wanting to learn more about STEM careers. Like we mentioned earlier, this program, you know, is based out of Virginia, meaning a lot of our speakers are in this area, are regional, and a lot of the opportunities that will be presented to STEM Lyceum students will be targeted to Virginia students. However, all students have access to this, the webinars and the information, and are able to engage with those STEM professionals. And then you can find all of the links for our STEM Lyceum lectures on our website, the same place where most of you registered for the programs. And those will be sent out, the Zoom links will be sent out when you register for the programs or for the event. All right, I will answer or combine all three of these last questions about the scholarships, three-picture program, and the college admissions aspect. All of that information will be forthcoming at the next STEM Lyceums event. So we'll be able to share that information with attendees and just update you with that and the next steps for that process, for all of those. And the last one, I guess I can open that up. What can you do to gain insight earlier as a sophomore on what aspects in STEM to go into? I don't know. Do you want to answer that, Isabel? You're a student. You're closer to it.
I think this will probably sound a little bit like my last answer, but I think the more exposure you get, I think that just helps. So I think like just being here is exactly the right thing to do. So yeah, I think I would just kind of echo my last answer and say like talk to as many people as you can, like keep coming to these sessions, but also you also have time to still explore and figure out what you're interested in.
I should say to wrap it up, there are many opportunities at CEE for volunteers and people to get involved in our programming. We couldn't provide the options and the things we do, nor have the reputation, if we did not have tremendous support from the corporate world and donors, speakers, mentors. It's just, there's so much available. If you are interested, please contact Laura. We welcome the opportunity to get to know you. As we said, please visit our website for more explanation about the programs, and also the involvement for the center. We keep all our programs cost-free to students and teachers because of many like you who are participants donate to the center. And you know, my father, I remember, told me when I saw a penny on the ground, and I said, oh, look, there's a penny. He said, pick it up. And I said, it's only a penny. He said, 100 pennies make $1. And you know, it doesn't matter how small or large the contribution is. Every little bit counts. And because we started out with literally $375 from a speaking engagement that Admiral Rickover gave, the first was at Virginia Tech. We stretch our nickels here. So thank you all for participating in the opening of the STEM Lyceums for the Commonwealth and going across the country.
Joanne, may I add?
Yes, please, you can close it out, Gil.
I just wanted to say thank you for allowing me to participate, but what a wonderful representation of CEE and our students, of Isabel and Laura. Hats off and kudos to their wonderful presentations, and I think this program is in great hands.
Thank you, Gil.
Thank you.
Thank you to our supporters. Thank you to our Board of Trustees. And CEE has a tremendous staff of people who are dedicated to our mission. So at this point, I will say thank you all. Have a lovely evening and join us in our voyage for excellence in education. Goodbye.
Thank you.